In this video, I'm going to come up with a litmus test on how to check for a good leader or someone who is of good leadership. And the reason why I felt it was important to do with this video is I've been on a lot of lives. The youth don't have a proper direction as to who to choose as a leader when it comes to Africa. I'm going to give a litmus test to our youth. It's almost like a letter to the youth as to how are we going to pick our leaders next time. You know, when you go on the internet, it's going to give you a cook and bull story. They have to have a vision, they have to do this, blah, blah, blah. The reason why I have a problem with that is some of the leaders that we've picked seemed to have a vision. They seemed to have a program. But when it came down to implementing the vision, it was a big problem. There has to be a test before those ones that have been written on Google. And I'm going to give you that pre-test that we need to be able to pick a leader. The first one that is on top of my list, first one is the person has to be morally upright. To be morally upright is that you don't compromise, you are loyal, you have integrity. It's very hard sometimes to detect those things when you don't know the person. Well, there are people around them that have grown up with them over the years and they have families. So for someone to be morally upright, let's just say faithful to your wife. That's very, very important, because if you cannot be faithful in your home, and you cannot be faithful to your wife, and you cannot be loyal, you cannot be loyal to a nation. Yep, I said it. I remember I said this on a comment the other day and everybody was coming for me. Solomon had many wives and all that. Look, if you want to live your life how you want to live as a mere citizen, as a billionaire, as a millionaire, whoever you want to live your life and have many women or have many men or whatever it is, you are free to do so. But when you say you want to become a president, we are going to judge you at a higher standard. You know, President Obama had to be damn near perfect to run. And if there were things in his closet, I'm sure it would have come out, right? Unless he's hidden it very well. But he had to be damn near perfect to be elected as a president. Look at what happened with Bill Clinton. When they caught him with Monica Lewinsky, he was impeached. So why is it that the West sees that moral uprightness is a big trait to have when you are leading? But then when we come to Africa, we want to change the narrative. No, when you want to be a leader, you have to be morally upright. You have to have integrity, even when it comes to money and how you deal with it. Something like this, most of our pastors will fail. Most of them are not upright. The reason I'll say that is they are teaching the wrong gospel so that they can take monies from people. Your pastor is not the example of a morally upright person. I'm sure there are people that are around us that you know that they don't compromise, do everything in Ghana language, everything to the book. That is a good trait of a good leader, or a good trait for a president. The second one, which is tied to the first one, is the person's house has to be in order. Let me come from a perspective of the person being a man. You've been given a family to be head over. You have your wife and you have your children. If you are not able to keep that small nuclear family in order, I'm sorry, master, you cannot be a president, because you cannot keep a nation in order. Here you have children that are wayward, drugs, doing all kinds of things, right? Disrespectful, not friendly, not nice. You hear rumors of the wife crying and all kinds of things. You have to know that the person cannot be a leader because their home is not in order. So with the youth, my African people, do you realize that just these 2 points alone will eliminate like 95% of people? I'm kind of highlighting how to pick a leader. One, they have to be morally upright. Two, their home has to be in order. And the third one, the person has to have the ability to be calm under pressure. I had someone very close to me, and he was picked to give a speech in school, and somebody said something to him and he snapped at the person, and right then and then he knew that he could not run for president. The question is, are you able to keep calm under pressure, or are you the type that you are cruel to your family and your friends around you when you are under pressure? Finances were not great at home. A good leader will mask and protect his wife from that kind of pressure. These are some of the traits that we need in leadership. It's hard to be able to detect these things when you're not close to the person. Trust me, if the person doesn't have these qualities and you go looking for it, you find people that can attest to that. When Peter Obi was running for president, I found certain people around me in my circle that grew up with him and were close to him, and they attested to the fact that the guy was what he said he was. The guy was morally upright. So I became more intrigued in his election. You would find people, if me, I'm not from Nigeria, and I was interested in the Nigerian election, and I had someone who could tell me, in fact, more than one person, two people who could attest for the man's character. You can find that in any other African country. There's always people they went to school with, there's people that they hang out with, and you would always know. The next point that I'll make is a leader has to have compassion and empathy. Now, someone who has compassion and empathy will not flaunt their wealth to you. They will not let you see the cars they have. People that have compassion and empathy will not flaunt their wealth to you. Let's leave flaunting of wealth to celebrities. But when it comes to choosing a president, humility is key. And someone who is humble is not going to come and show you his Lamborghini and high rise, do videos of himself of what he has. I'll go back again to Peter Obi. Very wealthy guy, but very frugal, not flashy. He actually takes economy, whether the camera is looking at him or not. Let's look at Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah didn't have much. Even when he traveled to the UK and some other countries, he stayed with people. It's not like he had homes all over the place and has left so much money for his children. He's not someone that was known to be very wealthy. Sometimes they'll say, oh, this person has money, so when he comes in power, he's going to do. No. People who have money always want more money. That's why we have billionaires. They could have stopped at millionaire, but they kept on accumulating, getting more money. So someone having that trait of having money cannot be the main focus of why the person can be a leader. Billionaires are good to develop an economy. You have to have some level of selfishness to be a billionaire. And this is no shade to billionaires. I mean, we all aspire to one day be wealthy. I don't know if I want to be a billionaire. I think it's just too much headache. Elon Musk, for instance, he's South African. What has he done for South Africa? There are some people that they are celebrities and they should stay in the celebrity corner. Good for other things. When it comes to presidential candidates, they should leave it for those who pass this litmus test. To the next point. The next one is, what's your vision and what have you done for people? And I'm not talking about sharing rice and milk for people. What have you done systematically that will help elevate your people from poverty? I had to give these 5 ways in able to detect a good leader before we go into what their plan is, what the vision is, what the strategy. So before the person even comes to talk, he has passed these 5 things. 1, morally upright. 2, is their home in order. 3, how they work under pressure or how they behave under pressure. 4, how they care for people around them, like compassion and empathy. And 5, what is their vision and what have they done for community? Thank you very much for watching. This is the Afritude movement, where we bring what is done in the dark to light. We are educating the youth and we are moving towards a more prosperous Africa, because this disrespect that Black people face in this world, we are tired of it, and it's time to rise above this disrespect and get the respect that we deserve as Black people. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Afritude movement.